What up, suckerfishes? It's Squish here with the tier list for you today. A new world tier list going over the weapons. And that's it. Let's just jump into the video. Wait 1 second before we jump into the video. I got to mention, if you would like to, you can like, subscribe the video, leave a comment below, and you can also visit the Twitch channel, which is where this content comes from. Twitch.tv/squishy_guts. And that's it. Okay, into the video. There we go. All right. Quick and dirty, let's do this. So first of all, Great Axe, S tier. No question. Strip S tier. In fact, OP, I don't know, there's a few reasons for this, just briefly. One, for whatever reason, when you are swinging this axe, it's like a magnet for other players. It's just like, your character just like sticks on them. Those hits just like turn into them. I don't know why it does this. It doesn't do this with the sword. It doesn't do this with the Warhammer. It doesn't do this with the Rapier. For whatever reason, Great Axe just like when you swing, it sticks onto people. I don't know if that's intentional. And it actually does the same thing with the hatchet too. Which is why. Damn it. I'm choking on water here. Damn it. I got this, guys. Don't worry. We're going to get through this. Which is why you see a lot of people run the hatchet with the Great Axe. Because they're easy weapons because they stick onto people. And you can spam them. Second of all, the Great Axe actually has one of the best abilities in the entire game. The Gravity Well. So if you don't know what the Gravity Well is, you basically like chuck the Great Axe at somebody. And it creates this gravity well where it sucks people into it and they can't get out of it. It's insanely powerful. Like, for PvP, everybody's using it. You're going to see that everywhere. So we're going to go with the hatchet next. I'm going to go A tier. And I really want to put an S tier also. But I'm going to go with A tier. And the reason why is because it was nerfed. I don't think it's as good as it used to be. Still so strong though. This is the kind of weapon that usually you don't use as your main weapon, which is why it's not S tier, but it's a great pairing weapon. You could pair the hatchet with anything in the game. Maybe not the Rapier. Although I could see, I mean, might be an interesting build. I never really thought about it, to be honest. Could be a good build. But anything else for sure. Amazing weapon. What makes it really unique is that it also has something nobody else has in the game. It has the only way to combat healing in the game. It has an ability in the throwing tree that negates 30% of healing. That's what makes this weapon so strong. The other part too of it is that it has Berserk, which is an insanely powerful ability. From one ability, one button press, you're going to get a stagger reduction. You're going to get healing over time. You're going to get movement speed. And you're going to get where you come invulnerable. You can't die for like 5 seconds or something like that. I don't know those numbers right now. We don't know all those numbers because we haven't seen the final build of the game. So I'm trying not to get too deep into numbers here. But just the overall what things do from the closed beta, the open beta, that kind of stuff. Life Staff is definitely S tier. And the reason why the Life Staff is S tier is because this can be your main weapon or this can be your offhand weapon. For any build. Any single weapon in the game, the Life Staff pairs with. And it can, like I said, main weapon, offhand weapon. It's also the only way to heal in the game. Instantly makes it S tier. And don't discount the damage. Don't be thinking like, oh, it's a Life Staff, you know, so maybe the damage. No, dude. This thing can hit like a truck. It hits hard. Musket, D tier. It's terrible. The only time the musket is okay, it's not even great, but it's okay, is in wars or large scale PvP, because you can straight up lay down on the ground in a bush and you can snipe people. And if you're not aware, when you crouch and when you lay down, your nameplate in your like crest above your head goes invisible. So so people can't see you. It's basically like stealth, right? But not exactly. So when you're like laying like prone inside of a bush, people can like practically like walk on top of you, just like right over you, and they won't see you. It's insane. So do that. That's the only time Musket is good, though, in my opinion. Besides that, the abilities are pretty crap. The Trapper tree is crap. The Sniper tree is pretty crap. And the biggest problem with the Musket is that, one, you have to actually aim to hit the shots, right? So there's inherent, like, it's not easy to use. Second of all, you have to load every shot. So it's not like, say, you have your fire staff, right? You want to shoot a fireball. You press the button, it shoots the fireball. Musket doesn't work that way. Musket is, you want to do like a powder burn shot, your guy has to stop, he has to load the bullet into the gun, and then you have to pull it up, aim, shoot, and hit the guy with the bullet. It's terrible. It's awful. Next we're going to go with the bow. C tier. Has some of the same issues as the Musket, is more reliable than the Musket, has more mobility than the Musket. I think it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. It's definitely viable. I don't want you to think that just because I put like this in the D tier, the Musket in the D tier, or the bow in the C tier, that they're not viable. They totally are. In fact, one of my favorite builds is the Ice Gauntlet Musket build. It's really fun to play. It's not going to be meta, but it's fun to play. Speaking of Ice Gauntlet, let's go there next. We're going to go with Ice Gauntlet, S tier. Same for one of the same reasons as like the Life Staff. Pairs great. Now this is more of an offhand weapon. Actually, you know what? Because of that, I'm actually going to go throw it in A tier. I'm going to put it in A tier. And here's the reason why. Is that this is your go-to offhand weapon. Kind of like how the hatchet is, right? I wouldn't use the Ice Gauntlet as your main weapon. But this is your complementary weapon. And this really can go with any weapon in the game. Any weapon in the game, you could complement with this. And it's really strong. The crowd control and the spacing it can provide and let you dictate the pace of a fight is unmatched in that regard. So yeah, we're gonna put it in A tier just because you don't want to use this as your main weapon, but it fits with anything. Same way, kind of like how the hatchet is. Next, we're gonna go with the Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield is A tier. Sword and Shield is going to be your main taking weapons. Anybody who's going to be a tank for PvP stuff, using Sword and Shield. There's also a great build, the Paladin build, where you pair the Sword and Shield with the Life Staff, and you basically go down the shield tree with the Sword and Shield, and you are so tanky and unbelievably powerful. It's really, really strong. A tier for sure. It pairs with just about anything, good, solid. Doesn't have a lot of thrills to it. There's no like exciting moves in it, I feel like, but it's solid and it will always get the job done. Next, we're gonna go with the Rapier. Rapier for me is C tier. It's okay. It's just okay. It's fun to use, not gonna lie. It's probably the funnest weapon in the game to use, in my personal opinion. The riposte ability, great ability. And you know what? People really be sleeping on the, what is it called? Flourish, I think it is. It's the one where you do like the windmill dash attack like through people and whatnot, and that move is great because any mobility game in this game is going to be really strong. And I actually like pairing this weapon with the Fire Staff. We'll get into that one next, I think, because then you have just like insane mobility. You can dash with the Fire Staff and you can dash with the Rapier, and you can just be all over the place. I think that's really fun and very, very viable like that. So next we're going to do the Fire Staff, which is S tier. S tier weapon. Just solid. Tons of DPS. It's like a truck. Probably one of the highest DPS weapons in the game. Right next to the Great Axe. Yeah, man, what can I say? Like, when I did Wars in the closed beta, like the top, everybody like on the top of the leaderboards of damage, all Fire Staff users. Every single one of them. Just so much damage. Great, solid weapon. Next, we'll go with the Warhammer. Warhammer is B tier. We're going to call this one B tier because it's a great, solid secondary weapon. I actually like to think of it personally as the Ice Gauntlet of the melee weapons. Pairs really well as your secondary weapon. I would not use it as your main weapon. Although I could see, which would be a pretty fun build, I think. If you want to be the most annoying person to fight in the entire game, if that's your goal, Warhammer and Ice Gauntlet. Because you will just be stunning the crap out of people, keeping them locked down, keeping the pacing right. Like, it'd be pretty insane. That could be a really fun combo like that. But yeah, it's just kind of B tier. And I'm kind of realizing now that we're missing one here. We're missing the spear. Because I didn't get a screenshot of the spear. So we're just going to do this and pretend that I took a screenshot of the spear. Wait, no. I'm going to do something better. I'm going to do something. We're just going to go like that. And then a little pointy thing at the end. Like that. All right. Here's your spear. This is a spear. The spear. This one's kind of tough. Not gonna lie. Because I actually think this spear is a little bit slept on. Now I think the general community is gonna tell you this thing is like C tier. Or maybe even B tier. But in my opinion, I think this weapon is a little bit slept on. And this actually kind of goes... I'm gonna put it here. In between the line of A tier and B. This is like a B plus, A minus weapon. Because, and here's the reason why. This weapon just combos into itself so well. Like just the way the abilities are and the way the skill tree is set up. This is probably one of the best like feeling weapons out there. As far as how the abilities combine together. You got leg sweep. You knock people on the ground. Dude, get out of here, male. You got your leg sweep. Knock people on the ground. Then you can jump on top of them. Plunge the spear into them. Does tons of damage. Pairs really well with a lot of great weapons. I actually think my favorite combo for the spear is probably with the hatchet. Spear and... Whoa! Didn't mean to do that. It really wants some attention. Spear, hatchet, great weapons. I think that's great. Spear and musket and bow, also awesome. And spear and rapier is like a really good like duelist build. Like if you like doing like one-on-one kind of stuff, spear and rapier, whew, that will truck people in 1v1s. Man, hopefully I went through that quick. I wanted that to be quick and dirty, but I felt like I ended up rambling a little bit more than I wanted to.